Implementing the Ballast Water Management Convention. Introduction. This agreement was adopted in 2004 in order to introduce global rules to control the transfer of potentially invasive species. Once the instrument enters into force, it will be necessary for the water of the last sea to be treated before it is released in a new place, in the way that microorganisms or small marine species are eliminated. The Convention on the Management of Water of Last Entry came into force in September 2017. Main objective: increase protection of the marine habitats and biodiversity of their waters through the reduction and ultimately elimination of ballast water made non-native species introduction, including pathogens. This is supported by the standardization of enforcement measures that can be imposed on foreign vessels entering the port or offshore terminals under their jurisdiction, having an active role in the proposition of amendment to the Convention, and benefiting from information sharing and capacity building networks set up under the terms of the Convention. What is ballast water? Fresh or salt water, sometimes containing sediment, held in tanks and cargo hold of ships to increase stability and maneuverability during transit. However, it has a process which has two parts that are ballasting and deballasting. In ballasting, it starts with sea chests, then intake pumps, then it goes through filtration, and finally, in this phase, it goes on to disinfection. It is there where it is agreed with the other pass through the ship, starting with pumps, again the disinfection, and finally to the sea. The Convention. The Convention contains regulation, importantly B3, B4, D1, and D2, which describe the standard to be met upon entry into force and beyond. Ballast water exchange must be of at least 95% volumetric exchange and occur 200 nautical miles from the nearest land, 15 nautical miles if unable to do so, and in water of at least 200 meters depth. Treatment system must ensure that the number of viable organisms released is below the standard described by D2. Application. The BMWC Ballast Water Management Convention applies to all vessels, either flying the flag of a party or operating under the authority of a party, other than ships not designed to use ballast water, warships or naval auxiliary vessels, vessel only on non-commercial voyage, and vessel with permanent sail ballast. It is at the prerogative of the party to determine the applicability of the Convention to any vessel which operates exclusively in its own waters. Characteristics of the Convention. Sediment reception. Parties must ensure that the specific ports under their jurisdiction have facilities in place to enable the reception of sediment removed from ballast tanks. Such facilities must not cause undue delay to vessels or result in any additional harm to the environment. Scientific and technical research and monitoring. Parties should endeavor to enable scientific and technical research on the management of ballast water. Monitoring of the effect of ballast water management in their waters is also required. This should also include the impacts of the treatment system on the environment as well as the impact of organisms known to have been introduced by the ballast water pathway. Survey and certification. Parties must ensure through survey and certification that vessels operating under the authority are in accordance with the survey and certification requirements of the Convention. Port State Controller Officers should be enabled to inspect vessels for ballast water management complaints. Inspection process. A simple documentation review and interview with the crew member responsible for the operation of the system and or management plan. A more detailed inspection where the operation of the system is compared to the ballast water management plan and the indicator has defined within the type approval certificate. A sample of ballast water is taken and analyzed using indicative tools to ensure that the vessel is meeting the D2 standard, and as 3 would require more detailed analysis for the verification of the D2 standard. Violations. Parties should transpose the Convention into their legal framework and work to discourage violation to the Convention requirement through the establishment of adequate sanctions. All parties are obligated to report violations within their jurisdiction to the flag administration of the offending vessel. The party administration of any vessel found to have violated the requirement of the Convention is to investigate and take action in accordance with its law, even if the offense has occurred outside of its water. Communication. Parties should inform the IMO, International Maritime Organization, and other parties where appropriate of requirements and procedures relating to the implementation of the Convention, location of sediment and ballast water reception facilities, and requirement for information from a ship which is unable to complete the Convention. It is IMO responsibility to ensure this information is disseminated to other parties. Summary of party requirements. The Annex to the Convention provides 5 sections detailing the specifics of each regulation in relation to the implementation of the articles. Generally, these regulations pertain directly to vessels and operators under the Convention, as is them by the basic principles of the Convention that have the responsibility to carry out ballast water management. However, several of the regulations detail the specific rule, in addition to introduction of legislation for the party administration or the body they authorize to act on their behalf. Overseas Territories Convention requirement. The requirement of the BMWC apply to all international shipping which utilizes ballast water and operate in the waters of at least one country that is party to the Convention. If an OT, Overseas International, has international shipping operating in its waters, the Convention will provide internationally agreed framework for ensuring that all vessels are acting to safeguard the marine environment in the manner defined by the Convention. Critically, it will equip the OT to perform ballast water management complaints inspection as part of their port state contract and press for legal action against ship owners and operators performing non-compliant ballast water operation in them. Curious fact: the IMO Ballast Water Management Agreement is likely to revive the scrapping activity in the crude oil tankers market in the rest of 2018, although the actual impact of the regulation will be seen only after the implementation of the IMO 2020 regulation on the sulfur limit. Example: it is invasive species is a process. The 1 at source port, 2 during voyage, 3 at destination port, and 4 during the voyage. Statistic: 10 billion tons of ballast water transported per year, which would fill 4 million Olympic-sized pools, and one new invention every 9 weeks. So 2.4 billion people live within 100 kilometers of the coast, and 18% of world trade carried by ships. Conclusion: the BMWC is a complex instrument requiring a multidisciplinary and coordinated approach in relation to its implementation and enforcement. The effective adoption of the Convention and improved management of the ballast water introduction pathway requires action from environmental scientists, maritime professionals, and a society policy maker. It is therefore essential that all sectors are engaged as part of this process. Thank you.